All right, revenge fans, it is Monica from TVandPopcorn.com. I am here to give my review on Revenge's season finale, which was absolutely bananas. Seriously. Maybe I could find a better word to describe this episode as I go along, but right now, bananas is, all that comes to my mind. It's pretty crazy. So, whew, where to start? Okay. Now, you may or may not have heard my previous review in which I stated, and this is a spoiler alert for anybody who has not seen the season finale, you may want to turn me down seriously because I am going to, kind of really get into some detail, which I try not to do in my previous reviews, but this is the finale. So, I'm really going to have to go in on this one and really, discuss the happenings. So go ahead and tune me out. Head on over to Hulu, and if you don't have a Hulu Plus account, I do believe they're still giving 2 weeks free where you actually can watch this episode if you happen to have missed it and then DVR it. Okay, moving right along. In my previous review, I said that I hope they did not bring David Clark back to life. Now, I said in my previous review that if they brought it back, it would be like a huge upset because it's like a waste of time because Emily went through all that she went through and David Clark is alive. So, it appears to be what has actually happened in the finale. Why? That is to be determined. Now, I don't know if that has completely been a mess up on their part for season 4 or if they're going to really explain why David is alive, which I'm pretty sure they will. But I'm hoping that is a really, really good excuse because I hate the fact that he is alive. To me, with David Clark being officially dead, it was like one of those things where you're rooting for his daughter to get her revenge, and you are rooting for all the other characters whose family were destroyed in this whole Grayson and this plane crash and all this stuff. So okay, so he's alive. He kills Conrad. If this is true, I don't know. Like I said, season 4 will tell us a lot because at the end of this episode, there was so many cliffhangers till it wasn't even funny. Aiden was killed in this episode, which a lot of people predicted that coming, and a lot of people are getting on Google doing their research, and they see that the gentleman who plays Aiden's character, and let me get his name right, Barry, he is actually going to another show. So a lot of people were saying it has to be him who's getting killed off, which I was hoping that he wasn't. I think that him and Emily were really good together, but a lot of people were saying, well, maybe that's their way to get Jack played into the relationship role again with Emily, which could be. So speaking of Jack, Jack at the end of Revenge's season finale, we see him get arrested because Charlotte, by the touch of her shoulder, has figured out pretty much that he was the one who released her when she was being kidnapped. So I think here's my prediction on this. This is for season 4, everybody. I think that there will be a cover story for Jack. I'm hoping. Now, this is me pretending that I was a writer of revenge. How would I write out this whole, Jack going to jail or Jack being questioned? They didn't arrest him, but, they pretty much asked him to come down for questioning. I would play it in as to where Jack's cover would be that the kidnappers called him, told him where he could find um, Charlotte, and that he could release her only if he did XYZ. So I'm hoping that Emily, I'm calling her by her real name now, which I'm going to get to that in a minute. But Emily and Nolan, I'm hoping they come up with a cover story for him so Jack is not implemented in this whole, thing with Charlotte being kidnapped. So I'm hoping that plays out. But that's my little prediction. Hopefully he'll have a pretty good cover story. Now, the reason why I'm calling Emily Amanda Emily. Okay, the reason why I'm calling Emily Amanda is because of the sweet, sweet victory of Victoria, screaming out that Emily is really Amanda in the psychiatric institution. That was the bomb diggity. Now, here's the thing: we did not see where Emily actually left Victoria. How close was this institution um, to, the suburbs, wherever they lived? Where is she exactly? I'm hoping that she had enough sense to move Mama Dearest like way out there in a whole nother state somewhere. Who knows? But in season 4, if Victoria is close to home, that is going to be a ugly situation. And if she is ever released, she's coming back with a vengeance. Speaking of vengeance, she is the one who killed Aiden, and that really ticked me off so bad. Okay, now, I read social media as I always do, and I'm reading some of the posts because I was not able to catch the finale live. So I'm looking at it and I'm looking at what everybody's saying, and I'm kind of disappointed already because I'm like, really, don't tell me this is happening. So when I actually watched the finale, I'm looking at this and I cannot believe that Victoria was stoop this low. Okay, so you claim you're upset about everything that happened to David Clark, but here you are basically killing an innocent man who hasn't really done anything to you but exposed the truth about who you really are. You put Amanda Clark in that little institution when she was a kid. You made sure that she was not able to see the light of day, and you conspired with her psychiatrist to do this. So, for the simple fact that she went out of her way to kill this man just because your husband killed Marcel, you are upset with Emily, and then it's just this whole bloody mess all over again. So, here's what I completely learned by the end of this finale, and do call me slow, whatever. I would honestly agree. But nobody at this point is innocent completely, with no blood on their hands, except for maybe Nolan and Jack, maybe, and Charlotte, maybe. And she's becoming my least favorite character as, the shows go on. I'm just like, somebody do something with Charlotte. I don't know what, but make her something. I mean, what she did to Jack was just uncalled for. She should have spoke with him. I wish somebody would have told her who Emily really was by the end of this episode. So now we're gonna have to go into season 4 and pretty much hope that she finds out who Emily is quickly, or she's gonna be coming back with a vengeance. And speaking of Charlotte coming back with a vengeance, Javier took a little trip in this episode, which this is Nolan's friend, who came back from jail, and he had his little app that pretty much can identify what individuals like and what their needs really are. And so he took a little trip. Nolan's getting ready to take back over this app, and I'm thinking if Javier and Charlotte team up, Charlotte's going to be really bad for Javier, and she'll probably be dictating his moves, getting involved, keeping him from actually being able to make sound decisions when it comes to him and Nolan's partnership. So that's going to be interesting to see in season 4, because they really did not close out Charlotte's or Javier's relationship. Now, we have another character that just came into play, and this is about to get real dirty real quick. I mean, did I say get? It has gotten real dirty real quick. Margot's brother, who was supposed to take over the company, is now in town. And Nolan links up with the brother because their plan is to bring down Daniel, who has pretty much become the successor of the company. Margot has, she said all we have to do is sign the contract. So the brother, hooks up with Daniel that night after he's already conspired, some plan with Nolan to take down, Daniel with, overtaking the app that Javier created and all that good stuff. And so him and Daniel are having drinks. Next thing you know, Daniel's calling Margot, asking Margot if she wanted to come over. She says yes. And then he's there with Nolan, the brother, which forgive me because I did not learn his name. I will have it next time. But he's now pretty much showing Nolan a picture of a girl dead in Daniel's bed at a hotel room. And so this picture is now going to be the leverage to get Daniel to pretty much become the puppet that they want him to be and get him to move out of the way. So here's what happened. Nolan had no idea this was going to go down. So Nolan's speaking with him and pretty much, saying, hey, this was not the plan. He says, I don't care, pretty much if that was a plan or not. This is what's happening. And pretty much he was in a roundabout way saying, now you're involved. There's no backing out. I'll be in contact with you. So dang it if they didn't get Conrad pretty much convicted of the crimes, didn't get David Clark's name cleared, all for Nolan to get in on this mess. So season 4, when I tell you that the premiere is gonna be banging, I already know it is because you have that situation with Nolan, you have a situation with Jack, you have a situation with Victoria, which only God knows where Emily put her. Hopefully, it was far enough away that no one would find her for a very long time. And you have the situation now as to David Clark being alive, which is the biggest boom there is. So overall, with the finale, I would say as far as madness goes, they get an A plus. Seriously. As far as cliffhangers goes, they get an A plus because I've never seen so many cliffhangers and new characters brought in to the point where you're not like, huh? I mean, it was just smooth. It was really smooth. Um, Now, I also read on social media where some were saying, well, David Clark may not be as innocent as he appears to be, which Victoria makes this reference as she's speaking with Emily and pretty much says the David Clark that you knew versus the David Clark that I knew are two different people, which you do have to kind of think about this because Conrad has been shysty. He's been dirty forever. So for David Clark to even be involved with Victoria in any way, you would kind of have to think about what kind of man he was. And if you remember Emily having her flashbacks of, the past and the way she was with her dad, and when Victoria walked into the home and Victoria was giving her that look, you could tell right away Victoria was ready to get rid of Amanda at that point. So we're going to probably find out who David Clark really is in season 4 since they've brought this man back to life. And I'm really hoping Revenge doesn't bring anybody else back to life. I don't want to see Amanda Clark again. I don't want to see Declan again. I don't want to see Aiden again. I do not want to see any other characters brought back to life. I'm just saying, not that I don't miss these characters or anything, but it's so emotional and emotionally draining when you follow a show like I do and you fans of Revenge the way you do, and then we constantly have to deal with these characters all over again after we suffered from seeing them, go the way they did. So season 4 is going to be off the chain. My overall thought of the finale was it was pretty good. There were some disappointments in there for me, but hopefully I'm going to give season 4 room to I guess you could say clear it up, clarify some things, and hopefully they do it in a way. And I mean, I know I'm not anybody, but I'm just saying, as a fan, there's just a way you want to see things when you follow a show and the way you want to see the characters fall into play, and that's where I am right now. So hopefully they'll clear some things up for me and I'll be like, yes. But season 4, I'm going to be taking such a deep breath when it premieres, and hopefully we'll see some things happening, and I'm pretty sure the characters will be further advanced now. Where is Emily going to go when she walked out of the psychiatric institute? Where is she going? And who is she going with? So, and did Nolan know her dad was alive? That's another good question. And if he faked his death, or since it's a good possibility that he faked his death, who helped him? So there are so many characters getting ready to come into play right now, so it's not even funny. But listen, I would love to hear your thoughts on what you felt about the Revenge season finale. And I'm going to go back on Facebook and kind of keep up with different things everybody's saying, because they'll be posting throughout the months, even though they're not actually on air with any new episodes until season 4. So I'll be checking in. But if you enjoyed this review, please, please, please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Revenge's season finale. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have enjoyed my review, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and come by and check us out at www.tvandpopcorn.com. This is Monica, and I am officially signing off. Talk to you soon, Revenge fans. Bye bye.